Taste of Cherry won the 1997 Palme d'Or. Anyone that's not familiar with Palme d'Or, it is the highest standard of excellence, like the highest award that you can get at the Cannes Film Festival. The difference between Cannes Film Festival and the Oscars is Cannes is more inclusive with cinema all over the world, while the Oscars can be biased and be a little bit more favored towards American films. Was it really worthy of winning the big one at Cannes? Yes and no. I mean, when you look at what came out in 1997, you had Titanic, you had LA Confidential, Good Will Hunting, The Ice Storm, Boogie Nights, Yuli's Gold, Contact, Men in Black. So yeah, just to check out how that film measures up to those. When it came out in North America in 1998, it was up against films like Saving Private Ryan, The Thin Red Line, Life is Beautiful. So yeah, the movie has quite the competitors. But at the same time, it's a really good film. It's minimalistic, done well. Sometimes when you look at really minimal films, they can be tedious, and the movie did receive a little bit of flack from some viewers. Like Roger Ebert hated this movie, called it, and I quote, excruciatingly boring. The movie is not excruciatingly boring. I do think, however, that this was ahead of its time. The movie is about this Iranian man named Badi, who is cruising in his Range Rover, looking for people to bury him near his favorite cherry tree once he commits suicide. And so a lot of the movie is just him driving around meeting a variety of people, but there's not really a whole lot of action that happens. It's a dialogue-heavy film, kind of like My Dinner with Andre or Before Sunrise, kind of like that. And of course, the deal with suicide, as I said a few seconds ago, this movie is a movie ahead of its time. When you look at things nowadays, like mental health stuff is on the rise. You see lots of people dealing with depression and suicide, and Taste of Cherry does a fabulous job in capturing exactly what that's like. And we don't really get to know the motives behind our main character wanting to commit suicide. And frankly, that's how it is with a lot of people that feel that way. They feel that, so sometimes depression just comes out of the blue. And there's this one scene where he's in his house, and we just get an outside view, looking in, but it's quite blurry because all the curtains are closed. That just goes to show that we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So Mr. Badi, he's kind of like a generalization of the average person that contemplates suicide. That's my interpretation of it. And we meet quite a few people that are suitable ones to bury him. And yeah, each time he meets someone, the conversation about suicide and living just gets more and more fabulous as the person goes along. He meets this one guy. He's pretty ugly. He's older. He has this huge mustache, and he delivers this really long monologue, and that's really what made me almost give me an out-of-body experience. It made me feel like I was actually in the movie. That happens a couple times in the movie, but thanks to that monologue, it was just set in stone for me. And as I said, it is a very minimal film, minimalistic, but you can see some good filming techniques in this. Like, hardly ever do we see Mr. Badi with in the same frame as someone, and we get lots of really nice shots of the landscape, which is nice. And yeah, this dialogue heavy film, I was thinking about giving it, I mean, I was wondering whether I should give it a 3.5 or 4 stars, but you know, in this day and age, because I liked it more the second time around, although I did really enjoy it the first time, this just feels like a film that I'll treasure for years and years to come, and for good reason also. It feels like it's going to be one of those films that will always be there, that always, and see, what's good about this film is that to top it all off, it's a positive life-affirming film. Even though it's about suicide, it's positive and it's life-affirming. If you don't like the ending, maybe I'll do another video about that, but yeah, I have my own interpretation of it. You'll have your own interpretation of the ending also, but whatever. I love this film, and yep, I feel a little bit generous, and I'll give Taste of Cherry 4 stars.